Yeah, I do my apprenticeship with my dad because he's a mechanic. We work at the same shop. 90% of the time, that's awesome. Every now and then we butt heads a little bit, but we get along better than most father and sons, I think.
Do you think you and your dad are closer because you work with him?
Oh, for sure, 100%. Me and my dad are much closer since I started working here. I mean, I don't live at home anymore, but I see him every single day and we talk about stuff. We curse and swear to each other because stuff doesn't work. Hi, I'm Daniel Kenny. I'm a mechanic, 21 years old, and this is my 1990 Mitsubishi Eclipse. I also have a Dodge, but it's not as cool. Why did I buy a 1990 Mitsubishi Eclipse? I'll tell you why I bought a 1990 Mitsubishi Eclipse. It was about 3 a.m. I wasn't asleep. I was scrolling through Kijiji for cars under $500. And I seen an ad for a 1990 Mitsubishi Eclipse. This ad didn't have any pictures, and it basically just said, I have a 1990 Mitsubishi Eclipse. Do you want to buy it? So I messaged Buddy and I said, how much are you looking to get for this thing? And right then and there he said, if you give me more than the junkyard, you can have it. All I have to do is take the radio out. So I offered Buddy $300 and he said, come get it. I said, I'll be there tomorrow with my dad. So I stopped by the garage. I told my dad, I'm gonna buy a 1990 Mitsubishi Eclipse tomorrow. Do you want to come with me and pick it up? And he said, now why are you buying that? It's $300 and it's old. It's gonna be junk. I said, yeah, but it's only $300, Dad. I want it. It runs and drives. So me and him, we went go get it. We borrowed a trailer from Trevor at the hardware store because that's such a Sheet Harbor thing to do. Borrowed a trailer. We headed in to Bedford. We stopped and we got it. Dad basically just went with me to tell me it was junk and not to buy it. We got there. The thing was a beautiful car. I mean, it was ugly, but it didn't have a spot of rust on it. It ran and it drove. So in the end, Dad ended up talking Buddy down another $50 for me because he kept saying, you know, 15 minutes we have this thing going. You don't have to worry about it. It's on that trailer, it's out of here in 15 minutes. So we loaded it on the trailer. I bought Dad a coffee and we came home. Ever since then, I've been working on it because I thought, I traded another car of mine for 2 parts cars and it had a bigger motor, so I thought, you know what? The motor that's in it burns a quart of oil every trip to town. I'm gonna change the motor in this thing. So, about 1.5 years now, the motor's finally running all right, just leaking a bit of oil, and then we're set. Next week she should be running, I hope. That is why I bought a 1990 Mitsubishi Eclipse. My first car was a 1995 Cavalier my dad bought for $100. It needed a bunch of work done to it. He's a mechanic. So Buddy told him if you gave him $100, he could have the car. So I was 15 at the time. Dad bought the car. We went up and put a new exhaust on it, a new subframe, new brakes all the way around. That jazz. I drove the car for about 1 year. I like to modify cars so when you drive by them, people look at you. I love having people look at me when I drive by. You might be able to tell that by this thing. It's not on the road yet, but it's gonna look like this when it is. I mean, it's cool to go a little bit faster. It's cool to have a nice looking car, but the look people give you is the best part. I'm a mechanic, I guess. I'm doing my apprenticeship to become a mechanic. So I work on other people's stuff all day, and then I work on all my junk. Yeah, cars bring people together. I mean, if you're broke down on the side of the road, chances are somebody's gonna stop. They might be able to help you. You go to car shows, you meet new people. I got people on Facebook that I know just because of cars. Talk to people. You're always looking for parts, so you meet people that way. I got people that I've bought parts from on Facebook. People I've sold parts to on Facebook, and I don't know, you get to know people that way. Car scene's a great place. There's always a bunch of idiots, but most people are decent. If I didn't like cars, I wouldn't have a job, and if I did, it'd be something probably worse than this. I'd have a lot more time on my hands and a lot more money, though. I mean, I bought a couple little oil seals today. That's $50. and half a day's work to put them in probably. So I'd have a lot more time, but I mean, I like what I do.
So basically, the way the truck came about was a bit of a funny story. So it used to be a family farm truck down at my great uncle's nursery in Centerville, Nova Scotia. I got my hands on the ownership papers at one point. My great uncle fell ill and I wound up with it. I found it under a willow tree. At the time, it didn't even run, start, move, drive, stop, anything. So after a few trips down in the evenings after school of trying to figure out why it wasn't running, I eventually sent it to a shop. After thorough negotiations with a cousin of mine who was helping my uncle at the time, I wound up with it. I did the repairs and I brought it home in a whiteout in, I'd say it was January of 2014. I didn't make it home. I had a tire failure and wound up on the back of a flat deck, but you know, shit happens sometimes. Rest is history. You know, here I am. The truck's got 130,000 kilometers on it. Means the world to me. It's been my project. It's been my pride for the past 2 years, trying to get it up and going again. I'm Larry Frail. I'm from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. This is my 86 C10. It's nothing special, but gets me around, keeps me busy. I work at Dartmouth Dodge. Well, what got me into cars? Well, as a kid, I had a lot of exposure to cars. My father has a 68 C10. It's kind of hard to see, but you might be able to see it. It's a C10, short wheelbase and step side. And my exposure to that and going to car shows really, you know, really brought light to a passion that, you know, I never thought I would have had. Carried on, I met a lot of friends through the car community. I started off with a 2.5 liter inline 5 Volkswagen Rabbit. It was a 2007. I did an exhaust and a test pipe and, you know, a set of rims, and eventually I started going to meets and got a feel for the local car scene. So, you know, you meet connections, you meet people, and basically my father's truck was what started it all. It's kind of a Chevy runs deep thing. I wound up with this truck and, you know, I'd like to see it restored and sit real pretty next to my father's. I absolutely think cars bring people together. It's all about networking. You know, you meet someone and they've got a part, and you know, they've got a way of doing something, or you know, you can't figure something out, so you meet someone else who can. So it's really interesting how you go about meeting different people and seeing different things and learning different skill sets. And my truck's brought me together with all kinds of people of all ages throughout the province. I've traveled as far as Yarmouth for parts. Speaking of my Rabbit that I once had, I drove down after work one day, and it took me 5 hours down to get there, and I loaded my car up and I actually tore the headliner and it bring a tailgate home. And so I've met people all over the place. Cars have brought me together with people, you know, everywhere, including Brandon himself. So car culture has changed the dynamic of how I am socially. I mean, plain and simple, you know, instead of going out for drinks Saturday night, I'm in someone's garage helping them put something together, or helping, you know, rebuild something, or out driving around, or I'm in a parking lot, or I'm, you know, out for a drive. It really, you know, car culture's changed my life in more than one way. I've gained an aptitude and a knowledge, but I've gained so many friends and been through so many different experiences with so many other people, and I've been able to share their pride and passion and get good insight on, you know, what started their passion as what started mine. I don't exactly know where I'd be without cars. At about the age of 16, I got introduced through a friend to a bunch of also passionate car people. Without their lack of guidance or, you know, encouragement or invites, or I don't really know where I'd be. Right now, my social circle mainly consists of people who are passionate about cars and do everything cars, eat, you know, breathe and sleep it. So it's a difficult question. It's really hard to say. It's a question of who I'd know and what I'd do with my time, and I can't really put a finger on that. How do I feel about project cars? Oh boy. Comes down to project cars, my biggest advice is don't choose one as a daily. At one time I had a 99 Dodge Ram, and you gotta have something dependable. This truck wasn't dependable at all, and in fact tried to kill me by leaving me stranded very far away from home on the coldest night this province had in probably over a decade. But But as far as project cars, I really think it brings people together. You know, whether it be just listening to tunes and working on a car, or, you know, standing around admiring something, or, you know, just going out for a drive. My project truck brings friends to my garage all the time. You know, to have a nice laid back night and take something apart and learn something and watch a video, or, you know, so my project truck is all about bringing people to my life and bringing, you know, bringing a pastime home. And this is my means of doing it. My truck's by no means perfect, but it's a work in progress, and I look forward to the progress I make every day, and what it'll look like here in 2 years.